Golly, that's loud for this time of the morning. Hello, it's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Coming up, where does Houston rank in car loan debt compared to income? It's a ratio, and we're going to talk to Mr. Chip Lupo about that. You'll be surprised. Jeff has a feature on trips, taking your dog on a trip with you.
Pets.
Okay. Pets? You said dogs.
Pets, dogs, yeah. Dogs are pets.
Okay. Nice. So you could take your pet turtle on it. You got something
goldfish.
For the goldfish?
Yeah.
Okay. Just checking. Mars reviews the new Subaru Forester. Just ahead on this segment of the 2-hour In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy. Along with Mike out of this world, Mars, we always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. David Ainsley sleeping in.
Yep.
All right. Let's get right to it. Let's talk about money, or lack thereof. I was talking to Chip before we went on the air this morning about me refusing to pay any more money toward streaming services or cable. I ditched cable. No, I'm not doing that anymore. So if it's anything more than $22 a month, guess what? I'm not doing it. But apparently, Chip, a lot of people are doing it when it comes to car loans. Chip is an analyst for Wallet Hub. And Chip, what in the world's going on here? We got cars that are averaging $50,000 a whack. We know they're selling cars, so people are going to the deep, deep debt now.
Well, again, this is a classic example of the cost of items going up, but wages not rising to match that. And Houston, well, Texas in general, does not seem to fare very well in that area. Houston more so than some of the other cities in our study, because Houston, being a large metro area, is a larger annual income. But what we found, though, we based this on, the percentiles are based on the average car loan balance over the median income. Houston has a pretty solid annual median income, but we're talking only about work income, so that doesn't include anything like investment income, rental income, of $50,000 a year, with an average auto loan balance of about just under $21,000. And that's a debt-to-income ratio of about 41%. Ideally, you want a DTI of about 35 to 36%. So that means you have a little bit left over at the end of the month after paying your bills. And again, the lower, the better.
Yeah. So at least you have a little bit of money so you can go buy you a box of donuts at the grocery store at the end of the work week. So how does that compare to, say, 5 years ago?
Well, it's higher because post-pandemic, people are buying more cars. The cars are getting more expensive, obviously, because we still have there's still some supply chain issues with the microprocessors that power a lot of these new cars. So people are spending more for used vehicles, driving up the cost. And again, the incomes are not keeping up with the rate of inflation for vehicles, so you're getting yourself into a little bit of trouble with that debt-to-income ratio. Keep in mind, too, gentlemen, that when we're talking about this debt-to-income ratio, this is just for car loans. This is not counting your credit card debt. One of you guys had mentioned your student loans.
Yeah.
Or not your student loans.
Daughter's student loans.
Mortgages.
Yeah.
And this, and just on a quick side note, with the life insurance you had mentioned, I would recommend not letting any of your loved ones watch any episodes of Forensic Files. If you've got life insurance, keep them away from watching Forensic Files, because that seems to be kind of a motive there in a lot of those cases.
Yeah.
So let me ask you, since you brought that up, when you were talking about the percentages of debt, the 41% for the car debt, and it doesn't include the house and whatever else, the student loans and things. So, I mean, if you start adding that stuff up, you're well over 50, 60%, aren't you?
Exactly. And what inevitably happens that you start falling behind on payments, and in a lot of cases, the car loan is usually the first one to stop. That's usually theoretically you'll pay to keep your mortgage, and then what happens? Sooner or later, the repo man's going to come find you.
So what if you're trying to pin it down, just to make it a little simpler? What ideally would your car percentage be? 20%, 10%? I mean, if somebody was really trying to look at their overall budget.
Well, ideally, the lower the better. 10% would be a good number. But what you can do, the car dealerships, banks, you can log on and they have these car loan calculators where you can type up how much you want to put down. And it's not a bad idea to treat it like a mortgage and maybe put down 20% of the cost of the car. That seems to be a good number to get those payments down. The more you can save up front, the higher the down payment, the lower your monthly payment will be.
Well, Chip,
Yeah.
one of the things that I think that you didn't include in that is if you buy, let's just say, a 3-year-old car that's got under 40,000 miles on it, you didn't include repairs. Because now you got maintenance and repairs on that car. So therefore, the let's just say $35,000 car that you went and got a note for, a used car,
Right.
and now you're going to have to keep up the maintenance on it. You're going to have to buy a set of tires, brakes, oil changes, and all the things that go along with maintaining the car, much less if some major catastrophic things happen to it. For instance, you lose a transmission or something like that.
Right.
Then you have to ask yourself, okay, well, what about all these ads that we see on TV for these rip-off places that are called aftermarket warranties?
Extended warranty, yeah.
Oh, my God. My girlfriend got caught up in that, and that warranty was costing $200 a month. And when it came right down to it, to repair the Jaguar that she had, of course, set herself up for those kind of repairs.
Yeah.
Once those repairs were done, it was $4,000 out of her pocket, in addition to whatever the extended warranty people decided they weren't going to pay because it wasn't included. Right on.
Right. Now, as far as our study, we went on the assumption that when you're buying from a dealership, that the car is going to have some kind of a warranty built into it, whether it's 3 years, 36,000 miles, which are not bad deals as opposed to these aftermarket ones that you're talking about. We got suckered into a home warranty when we first got married, and 2 years later, we were paying on a dishwasher and still paying the monthly premium, so we got out of that one real quick.
It would have been cheaper just to go and buy a new dishwasher than
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Listen, they're in business because they make money on you and on me
Yes.
and on Jeff and Mike. You know?
Right.
Yeah, so spend your money wisely. That's probably not the wisest thing to do.
No.
Well, there goes our next advertiser.
Yeah,
I guess they're not going to be buying us anytime soon. Good. Please. We don't want to have anything to do
Don't
with
throw
that.
Mike and I into that. Him and I don't have any money.
No, but you
Mike and I
got
don't have
home warranties
No,
and
but-
car warranties.
No, but to your point, one of my daughters had she got a divorce and got upside down in a car and all that stuff with the debt ratio we were talking about. That's what I happened to think of with her. Her ex fixed that up for her. But so when she finally got to where she could buy a house, an older house, she bought that home warranty, which I strongly suggested she not do. Man, she got her money out of that, though. I mean, she burned through that because she bought that house, and they said, yeah, we're covering everything. You know, I got her washing machine fixed, got a new hot water heater, got some plumbing fixed, all kinds of stuff, and then, boom, she dropped them. But she got her money out, but that's about the only way. She only had it about a year. And she's the only one I know of that ever got their money out of it.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, it's bad. So what's the recommendation, Chip? What should we do to not really get this thing out of whack in our budget?
Well, we mentioned earlier, you can start by buying less expensive used vehicles, or save up, like we talked about, save up money up front to minimize the cost of your loan. Obviously, if you can afford to pay in cash, that's always nice. Hold on to your existing vehicle as long as you can. My father was a mechanic for 35 years, and he always says that, well, when the repair bills start to become more expensive than a monthly payment, then it's time to move on. Okay. Also, we talked about the DTI, and again, the lower the DTI, that was more favorable to lenders. We would recommend, of course, as a personal finance website, to check your credit score. You can sign on to WalletHub.com, get a free account, check your credit score before you go out shopping. Because if you have a good enough credit profile, you'll get some lower rates, particularly if you go to like some community banks and maybe some credit unions. You can get some really good terms on car loans.
Well, to that point, I wrote an article with a couple of car reviews in it, and it was comparing a couple of trucks. One was a Honda Ridgeline, and the other one was a Toyota Tacoma. And they were both, in my opinion, pricey, but that's the way that today's trucks are. But instead of going and buying the truck, the Ridgeline, let's just take the Ridgeline, for example, that you can option up to $50,000, why not back out $10,000 out of that by, instead of buying the Z1 Ridgeline, whatever it may be, back out and buy the B3 one. You still got the same truck. It cost you $10,000 less, and take that $10,000 and put it in your pocket for a rainy day.
That's a good point, because for that $10,000, you're maybe you're paying for maybe one extra bell or whistle. You're more or less paying for that model, for that particular trim number on the side of the vehicle.
Right.
But yeah, just be practical on things like that. And of course, anyone who goes out and pays sticker price for a vehicle is a sucker.
That's exactly right. And there was a time when inventory on car dealer lots was low. If there was any inventory at all, there's one Honda dealership that was on the east side of town on the way to the drag strip, the former drag strip here in town. And for 2 years during the pandemic, we went by there. There was not one car on the lot. We thought they'd gone out of business.
Yep.
They didn't go out of business. But apparently they were selling whatever they could get in right online and right to the homeowner, the car buyer. And we're going, how do you stay in business like that? So there was this big gap in cars that were being turned in off of loan, off of lease, and there were no used cars to buy. And what there was out there, they were getting snapped up in a hurry. So there's this cattywampus thing going on in the car industry, and I think that we've caught up with that. But now the price of cars has gone through the roof. I mean, I go past many dealerships on the way to work every day, and those dealership lots, they're packed full of cars, but those cars are expensive for the most part.
And you mentioned trucks too, and that's where the big money is for these dealerships. You mentioned the Tacomas. You go price a reasonably loaded Tacoma against a Toyota Camry, you're going to see a dramatic shift in the increase of the price there. Yeah. People love their truck. People love big trucks.
And to Don's point, with these dealerships that didn't have any inventory during the pandemic, the salesman would call the prospective customer and say, "We got a truck coming at 11 o'clock. It's got 9 cars on it. You want one? Come down." And then as they're unloading the truck, people were buying them.
Wow, I didn't realize that.
Yeah.
Well, I think how can a person calculate their debt to loan ratio, and what would you do? What would you suggest that we do?
What tools are there?
Well, again, you can log on to it. You can do just a regular Google search for auto loan calculator, and you fill in the numbers, and it crunches the numbers for you. How much you're willing to spend per month, projected interest rate, any down payment, any trade, and it'll spit out the numbers for you.
But what if you wanted to go a step further and you wanted to know, okay, I can tell my car is going to cost me this much, and I can calculate that, but now I want to calculate my house note. I want to calculate my rent, my electric bill. I want to figure out my whole debt ratio, not just the little car part. Is there something out there that will do that?
Well, there's a number, all kinds of software out there for personal budgeting that will do that. But yeah, it all comes down to budgeting, of course. And then you cite all of your monthly expenses against your income, and then whatever's left, then you can make a reasonable guess about how much you're willing to be able to, or how much you can afford to spend on a vehicle.
Somebody asked me the other day, they said, what car would you recommend? Well, I don't know. How much do you have to spend? Oh, I don't know. I really like this car. You know how much that car is? No, I don't know how much it is, but I like the car. Well, don't go into a dealership and go, I don't know what I want to buy.
But sell me something.
And I don't know how much money I want to spend. Oh my gosh!
They're gonna
if I were a salesman, I'd go, "Come on in."
Where am I going on
They're
vacation
going to
next
sell
year?
you the car with the biggest spiff on it.
Yeah.
They tried
we have
that on
this nice
Kathy.
Jaguar
Yeah.
for you. Yeah, we have a very nice Jaguar.
Yeah,
just
no,
for you.
God, don't even say that word.
And
no.
it's beige.
That's beige, a beige,
Beige
Jaguar.
with
Yeah.
a new transmission.
Yeah. So, at any rate, well, interesting facts and figures. And what does Wallet Hub do?
Well, we're primarily a personal finance website, and we do studies that kind of shed some light on how you can improve your situations through personal finance. You can log on to wallethub.com, create an account. We offer free credit scores updated daily, free credit reports, and 24/7 credit monitoring. And of course, and then you have access to a whole number of studies in addition to the ones that we've just done here today.
Well, Chip, we sure appreciate you taking the time from the Carolinas to talk to us today.
Oh, sure. My pleasure. We appreciate it. We appreciate your interest in our work.
Yeah, most definitely do. And hopefully we'll check in with you in the not-too-distant future, and you'll say, Don, what do you think about that $100,000 a year raise that you got? What did you buy with it?
Not a Jaguar.
Apparently not.
What's in your wallet?
Yeah. Chip, thanks again. We appreciate you.
How funny.
Thanks, guys. Enjoy the games today.
Thank you.
Right,
You
you
too. All right. Let's take a break, shall we?
Sure.
Making my brain work way too hard on a Saturday morning. I'm
Well, you're all stuffy.
I know, trying to recover from a cold. I'm tired. I don't sleep at night. Well, the cold doesn't have anything to do with that. I just don't sleep at night anyway. Hey, the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk. And a new daily podcast, several of them, as a matter of fact, are available from your favorite podcast provider. We also video stream our live 2-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
The original group of Lupe Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipe means when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the first Lupe Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here is the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupe Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupe Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupe Tortilla Katie's another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupe's. It's located on 99 the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Lupe Tortilla in College Station. Located just around the corner from Kyle Field, it's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Going to Louisiana? The Lupe Tortilla in Beaumont is on I-10, so you can't miss it. The original group of Lupe Tortilla restaurants has the best Tex-Mex anywhere, and you're invited anytime. Your car is a direct reflection of you, so don't be satisfied with color fade or a dingy, dull appearance. Get rid of those terrible automated car wash scratches. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your Save the Paint company. John Gray and his team of detailing experts can help your cars finish without a full repaint. Searching for the real experts in window tint or windshield protection? Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Dash cams, radar detectors? Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Got a new car? Get that thing protected as soon as you take delivery. If you don't know which of the multitude of protection products to go with, John Gray will give you an honest opinion and won't sell you something you don't need or can't afford. John will help you understand the many options and pricing right on the spot. He's your guy to have your ride looking its best and protected too. See the state-of-the-art shop yourself. Free tours anytime. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is easy to get to, located just south of the Southwest Freeway on the Sam Houston Parkway. Gulf Coast Auto Shield, full-service luxury car care today, and online at gcautoshield.com.
If you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address is info@inwheeltime.com. Trips that you want to take, but you want to take Fido with you.
Fido.
Or Fido or
Fifi,
Bean
Fluffy.
or whoever it is that
Take
you
Bean.
want. Yeah.
Bean the turtle.
Bean the turtle.
He's in Denver.
No,
I hear.
she's Bean. Yeah,
She Bean.
yeah, she.
Okay.
We could take the Sues, but we know what the Sues would do.
Well, and
she'd sleep all day.
There's kind of a theme behind this. that we're going to talk about. Let me get you going here. So these are 6 tips, and I told you earlier in the preview that my son took his pet when they went out to Wimberley, and they went.
Well, there it is, right there.
Yep, there it is. They're all driving. Those 3 cats are driving. Their dogs are driving. So putting a cat in a pet carrier is like playing a high voltage game of Operation. Some animals do travel well. Dogs are a different story. Dogs love to go for rides. So do humans. So the number one thing that we're going to talk about, look at that. That's how they test crash test dummies. They got crash test dogs as well. So don't let your pet put his head out the window. We know that some dogs like it to ride and get the wind in their face. It's fun for them to, be out there and lapping up with their tongue. But you can get insects in your dog's face, in their eyes. You get debris. It can hurt them very, very badly. And, of course, if your dog has a strong prey in their bloodline, they might jump out the window, chase a cat, squirrel, whatever the case, out the window of the car. If you need to put air in your dog's face, don't let them do out the window. Put them in front of an air vent. Put them in front of one of the AC vents. They like the wind in their face, and they'll be just dandy and love you for it.
Plus, it leaves more room for me to hang my head out.
There you go. Well, you do that all the time. Don't let your pet lounge on the front seat. You wouldn't put a baby in the front seat, Mike, so why would you put your pet in the front seat? You don't do that. Restrain Rover with a harness or a crate. Now, there's all kinds of crates. I did some research on this. Crates go from like $50 up to $500, depending on what you want to put your pet into in the back of the car or the front seat or the back seat, however you want to do it. So make sure you got the proper one to do that. Buckle them up. There's harnesses to put seatbelt attachments and things like you do with a car carrier. You can find crash test results also on the NTSB site as well.
Really?
Give plenty of water.
For dogs?
For dogs.
Huh.
Plenty of water. If you chug a bottle of water, a Red Bull or something, or a cold beer, Mike, while you're driving on the road to be hydrated, your dog needs that too. Your pet needs that. So
Beer.
make sure that you got some nice fresh water. It doesn't have to be warm. Make sure it's kind of like a room temperature, but not really hot. They need that hydration as well. Stop every few hours. If you're
It's the Sues.
I'm telling you, that was the theme. These are all beagles on here.
I
Don.
see that.
So if you're taking a long trip and you do need a restroom or you need to stretch your legs, your pet does as well. If they're housebroken or if they're a little older model of a dog or a cat, they might have some issues with their bladders and things. So make sure you're taking care of them as well. And the last one is don't leave your pet in the car. You're going to come back to the car and either have a broken window or your dog's going to be missing or even a worst case scenario there. So just some tips on it. Take care of your pet. Treat them like everything else that you take care of in your car, and you'll be just fine.
Went to the grocery store. This was, about a month ago. And there was a car that we parked next to, and the car had a dog in it. Mm-hmm. We're thinking, they'll be right back. So we do our grocery shopping. Takes about 30, 40 minutes or so. Come back out. The dog is still in the car. The car's not running. The windows aren't open. The dog, you can tell, is distressed.
Yeah.
What did we do? We called the police.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the police came, and I don't know what happened after that. I don't know whether they broke the window, but whoever the dumbass was that left the dog in the car, they should have been arrested and at least had the window broken on the car.
Right.
Who does that? Who does that?
Bad people that had no consideration.
Got no concept.
Golly.
So take care of your pets.
I was ticked.
They took little Lucille is their dog, and they had a harness on him, like a little life vest with a handle on the back. So and just pick them up, put them in the water, take them out of the water. It was very cool. So
time now for this hour's car review here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Mr. Mars is driving a 2025 Subaru Forester.
Yes, sir.
Are you not ready for the review?
I was getting George ready. Sorry. Yes, I am ready for the review.
All right, go.
Absolutely.
is George combing his
So
hair
I
or
was
something,
driving
or?
the 2025 Subaru Forester Premium. Now, this is the 6th gen of the Forester, and it's been redesigned. It comes in 5 trims: base, premium, sport, limited, and touring. So we were driving the premium. This is a small SUV that Subaru considers it the right size. As passengers, it'll hold 5 people. Up front, you're going to find the new narrow LED headlights. They got the responsive headlights that'll turn with you as you go. LED fog lights, tail lights, all the good LED lights all the way around. Had the panoramic moonroof, not a sunroof, but a moonroof. And they have
Panoramic moon.
panoramic moon. It's for when it's a full moon. So it also has usable roof racks that are now standard on the Forester instead of an option. It has a power lift gate with hands-free, the foot sensor on it, and it rolls on some nice 7 by 17-inch wheels. And it's got a new dash design this year. It had the cloth seating material, and it had a folding rear seat. The rear seat has a console that has cup holders on it, which is always a nice thing. 11.6-inch Starlink multimedia system in the middle of the dash. Nice big screen to use. And it also has a cargo cover in the back to keep things out of sight, out of mind. USB-Cs, got A's and C's all the way around. Had a wireless charger that I thought was real strange. It wouldn't work with my phone for several days till I figured out there's a little button up there right beside where you lay the phone. You have to turn it on. Instead of just setting the phone there like most of them do, you actually have to turn it on. After that, worked just fine. Now, we had under the hood, we had a 2.5-liter boxer-type flat engine, 180 horsepower, 178 pound-feet. It is an all-wheel drive vehicle with a CVT. Now, there is an option to step up to where you can get one that'll have an automatic that you can use paddle shifters on, but we didn't have that. Tow rating is 1,500 pounds, which doesn't sound like a lot, but this is a small SUV. It'll tow your jet ski. It'll tow a small camper. 1,500 pounds covers a lot of things that you're actually towing. Now, in the city, the EPA says you should be looking for about 26 miles per gallon out on the Highway 33 for a combined mileage of 29. Now, I got 31.8 miles in this vehicle driving at 384.7. Now, I do put a lot of miles on it across the highway, Jeff. I'm kind of out there in the sticks, so I kind of lean to that, so it kind of changes the way it does. Now, I will say also, I like driving this vehicle. The steering's been updated this year. They actually derived the steering mechanisms from the WRX, the sporty model. So it's got some really nice steering. It's quieter. They made some changes in the manufacturing.
Drive-by-wire?
I didn't even look at that. But they did make some changes in the manufacturing on how they put the car together, how it's assembled. Where they put the glue, they changed the glue. They changed some of the material to keep it a little bit silent, the sound deadening materials. And the chassis itself is 10% stiffer, so it doesn't kind of move and wiggle and squeak as much. So it's much quieter than what it's been in the past. Now, the base model for this is $29,695. Now, this is the 2025 Subaru Forester. And base trim price, which you step up to the premium, which is the next level up, is $31,995. Now, our as-tested price, so we have very few options, so it was only $34,590 for this with the all-wheel drive. So if you're looking for something to compare it to in that small SUV, CUV category, a Kia Sportage. I have a friend that's got one of these. He loves it. $27,190 is the base to get into it. The 2024, that was 25. Now, the 2024 Toyota RAV4, I haven't got a pricing on the 25 yet, but it's $30,025. And then the Ford Bronco Sport, you can get into it for $29,950. Again, these are base model prices, and then you kind of option it up from where you go from there. So overall, all in all, it's a little bit smaller than some of the other Subarus, but I think with the things they've done to it for 25, like the WRX steering and the stiffening the chassis and a lot of other things, it's really a nice driver.
The later video you had of it, the color's nice, because Subaru, to me, sometimes puts some unique color combinations on their vehicles with the cladding and things and all that. It kind of doesn't, you look at it, you go, ooh, why did they do that? But the solid colors like the grays and the softer tones, I like that. The interior's nice on it. So
it is. It's kind of a nice compromise with the big seats and stuff.
Right.
To make things so it doesn't hurt so bad to get it wet.
Yeah.
Hey, today's In Real Time Car Talk Show is sponsored by the group of original Loopy Tortilla restaurants in Houston, Beaumont, and College Station, Gulf Coast Auto Shield, and Pro-Am Auto Accessories. The In Real Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. The award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show brings you great guest interviews each week from manufacturers and suppliers to the aftermarket, racers, enthusiasts, and other friends just like you and me who love to talk about all things automotive. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show takes it to the road, too, with remotes at Tailpipes and Tacos, Woody's Waterfront Car Show, and the Hemi Hideout. In Wheel Time's live video and audio stream can be found on the iHeartRadio app, YouTube, Facebook, and InWheelTime.com every Saturday, 10 a.m. to noon Central Time, or grab a podcast anytime from your favorite podcast provider.
From the Sugar Shack Studios in Houston, Texas, USA, it is the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, our In Wheel Time favorite fan, George Skelton, takes us on a trip to the Corvette Museum in Bowling Green, Kentucky, live and in living color. We'll get the visitor's point of view.
He told us he's our favorite fan because he told us he's our favorite fan.
I know.
That's what he said.
Yeah.
If you don't believe it, just ask him.
Yes, that's right.
Jeff has the cruise-in calendar and event calendars, and we'll have the stories making automotive news headlines this week in this segment. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us for our Saturday get-together, if you want to call it that.
Labor Day weekend.
It is.
Any plans for anybody?
No.
Okay.
Couch. I'm going to marry the couch today.
Ooh. Mm-hmm. Right.
George is married. He's married to us on Saturday mornings. And now, ladies and gentlemen, my friend from grade school, middle school, and high school, here he is in living color, George Skelton.
He's married to a woman that needs support. You know, she needs sympathy.
Yeah, well, I was just going to say mental support for marrying George. But we love you, George. You know that.
Well, thank you very much.
Yeah. So George's history is such that he had, is it your aunt? Your aunt.
This is my cousin.
Your cousin.
Betty.
Cousin Betty Skelton, famous Corvette owner, aviator, all of the things that she did back in the day. And George's dad ran Metropolitan Theater.
Cool.
Downtown. And George spent many weekend down there selling popcorn and showing people to their seat and kicking those people out that were necking up in the balcony.
And rubbing elbows with stars.
Yeah. Which he still does.
Occasionally, but Don, I got to tell you, Ray, I am in your element.
Yes, I'll bet you are.
He's not wearing pants.
And right behind me is your next car.
Is my next one? And which one is that?
That is the brand new E-Ray.
Oh, that's it. Oh, cool.
And it's only $115,000.
$115,000.
That's the base price.
Yeah. Chump change.
And after listening to your earlier guest, that means that probably your entire Social Security check, you could buy that.
Yeah, no. It won't even come close to that. But it doesn't look much different than the other C8s that are out there.
Well, my wife fell in love with it. The color, everything about it, the braking, charging, all the stuff that it does. And so I'm afraid she's going to say she wants one.
Did you get a chance to drive it?
Oh, no, they didn't have any of them to drive. Now, she drove a simulator while she was there, and that was an interesting experience.
No doubt. Did you just stand back and smile?
Oh, my gosh. But this weekend was the 30th anniversary Caravan, and, Don, you've got to come to one of these.
You know, it's funny you should say that because Leslie said, this is the weekend of the Caravan. How come you're not on the Caravan? I said, I don't know. I don't know why.
Because some of them left on Tuesday.
Well, that's part of the reason.
Yeah,
but,
your schedule.
Yeah. But, there wasn't an official Caravan from Houston. I think the official Texas Caravan left Dallas. But there was a group that left Houston, met up with Corvette clubs and other Corvette people in the Dallas area, and then went on to Bowling Green in a great big caravan up there. And, one of these days I'm going to do that before I die, I hope.
You better hurry, because I stayed at the hotel with the Carolina and Virginia Corvette Club, and all they could tell me about was coming in the Caravan with a police escort at 80 miles an hour.
80.
At 80.
Nice.
It was unbelievable, and the stories talking to these folks at breakfast every day. I'd meet somebody new, and oh my gosh.
The stories.
You're in heaven. And they still said that if In Wheel Time wants to come do a broadcast up there, they will let you park your Corvette right in the front of the museum.
There you go, Mars. You hear
but
this?
Where are we going to park the In Wheel Time Dodge Ram truck?
By the dumpster.
Well, we're going to change out the emblems on it.
Oh, yeah, we could do that.
We could do that.
Now, Don, imagine this. Now, there were 8,000 Corvettes that came to this caravan in Bowling Green this weekend.
Well, I can imagine it. I will tell you that I, as you know, have been on the Hot Rod Tour of Texas for the past 3 years. And the 250 cars that are on that, you really don't, you think, oh, it's only 250 cars. Okay, we'll string the 250 cars bumper to bumper. And it's several miles worth if you put any kind of distance at all between the cars as you're traveling at 80 miles an hour.
I sent you a couple of pictures of the hotel. Solid Corvettes at the hotel.
No doubt.
Mm-hmm.
I rented a Cadillac for Jeff.
Thank you.
As a rental car. And it was so out of place with those Corvettes.
Hey.
Yeah. Well, now my question to you is, has the wife said, "Oh, honey, let's get one just to say that we've got one in the stable out there"?
Immediately, she was impressed with the 0 to 60 in 2.5 seconds.
Yeah, but she wouldn't be too impressed trying to get in or out of the Corvette,
Yeah.
I'm sure.
She got into it fine. She sat in one they had on the floor. And I got to tell you, if you've never been to that museum, it's a joy to walk around that thing and see the concept cars they have in there, to see the clay model Corvettes that they use in the airflow testing.
Yeah.
The wrecked ones from the sinkhole, the ones they've restored, and every model of Corvette is represented. There's about 50 or 60 of them just in the museum, and it's and they explain things to. I learned so much about Corvette. I had no idea, but you would be in heaven.
No doubt. Did they still have the opening in the floor that you could look down and see where the sinkhole was?
Yes, they do, and they have it marked in there where the hole was.
Right.
And they caution you standing on it while you're looking at these vets. And by the way, they didn't have the E-Ray sitting by that hole.
So the hole is actually still there? I thought they covered it
Well,
up.
they did cover it.
They did.
Yeah.
They put a pipe all the way down to the bottom of the hole where you could see how far down it was.
Oh, okay.
And they still go down there to make sure it's not going to cave in again.
Yeah, I saw the video of, it was a time-lapse video of them after it had caved in, and it shows them plucking out the Corvettes that they plucked out of the hole, and then filling the hole. It was a construction project like you've never seen, because it was still indoors. They didn't tear the building down to fill the hole. And if you get a chance, go on YouTube and take a look at that.
I have to do that.
Well, here's the most interesting fact I learned about the museum. They make most of their money from raffling off brand new Corvettes. They have two types of raffles. They have an unlimited raffle and a limited raffle. The limited raffle is $750, but limited to 300 people. That's better odds than Vegas.
Yeah.
The unlimited raffle can be 3,000 or 4,000 people for $20. And you still got time to do that today if you want to win one of the base model Corvettes that they've got. They're actually giving away today.
Well, let me ask you this, George. Can I borrow $700?
Absolutely.
So,
I'll use
place
my
you got put 50
MasterCard.
Yeah.
now, are you guys still up there, or did you come back?
No, we got back late last night.
Well, How far a trip is it from Temple up there?
Oh my gosh, I flew, so it wasn't bad
He
at
flew.
all.
He had a Cadillac.
it wasn't
He had a
bad.
Cadillac.
It was like 3 hours.
Yeah.
It was. We had planned. Twyla's sister is up there and not doing too well, and we went up to visit her. So I was able to go to the museum, and she went with me. But so we had a dual purpose in going.
Sure.
Do you have to drive to Dallas to catch a plane?
Yep.
Yeah. How far?
2 hours.
2 hours?
That's not bad.
Right.
Yeah. No, it's not bad at all.
But guys, I got to tell you, the motorsport enthusiasts that are up there, I mean, they should all be watching your show, because I'm telling you, it's just fascinating, some of the things you see. Not only you see the most beautiful Corvettes in the world, but I saw some of the ugliest Corvettes I've ever
Yes.
seen that were barn finds, and they have a whole section on barn finds. And I mean, you can go in there if you need a chassis for your vet, Don. You can get it there. It's not only a swap meet; it's crazy.
So this is outside the museum.
They have all the cars over at the racetrack, and to park your car at the museum on the Caravan, it costs $700 for a parking space.
Oh, hell no. Listen, I complain about $20 parking at the Astrodome, so I ain't gonna do no $700.
He makes us pay for
Don,
parking out here.
If you put your Corvette up next to one of these others that are out there, you'd have 10,000 pictures of it.
Well,
It's amazing. So the two of the cars came from New Zealand and Australia. They actually shipped them over to California, and they drove from California to the museum for the event.
now, this is not the 50th anniversary of the Caravan. I think that's coming up in a couple of years, isn't it?
It's the 30th.
Yeah, this
The
is
30th.
50th.
Okay.
Museum's 50.
Okay, the museum's 50. The Caravan's 30. So I guess next year I'll have to make plans.
5 years. They do the Caravan every 5.
Oh, every 5
So
years.
we got 5 years to get a sponsor to get us.
Save $700 for parking.
Do that, Mars. I'm depending on you. Guess what? I'll be dead when that comes through.
Yeah,
Let's
we ain't
do
got
the-
time for that.
Let's do a remote from the hole, down in the hole. We'll do a remote down there.
We had the echo.
They told me they'd put you right out front, or they'd let you be in there where the people pick up their Corvettes.
That would be fun.
That is so much fun to watch people pick up these Corvettes.
Well, maybe that's what I'll do. I'll sell the black one when I get there, and then I can pick up a brand new one that I've ordered from the factory right there.
There is a Corvette guy who's located right north of the museum that would be more than happy to help you.
I'm sure, and I know that you know him because you know everybody, George.
Oh, gosh. I tell you, though, it was absolutely fun. So if you're ever up in that way, even if you're not a Corvette fan, just going through the museum and seeing the history of a Corvette. For example, right-hand drive Corvettes. You ever seen one?
I never have.
Yeah, I saw 3 of them.
New ones.
Brand new.
Yeah, I knew that they were
Shipping them
making.
to Europe.
Yeah, I knew that
I'll
they
be darned.
were making them, but back in the day, they didn't make right-hand drive
Yeah.
Corvettes.
The only one I
And
ever saw was Corvette
Your
Summer.
favorite one, Don, would be the rear-engine Corvette.
Well, that rear-engine Corvette has been around for millennia, and there was hope when they came out with that thing. I guess it was back in the 70s. And there was hope then that they would have at least, if not a rear engine, a mid-engine Corvette. And they've been talking about this mid-engine Corvette for decades
Yeah.
and decades. And finally, with the C8 Corvette, they did the right thing. They couldn't go any further with what they had done with the front-engine Corvette. I mean, the balance was almost 50-50. You can't get any better than that, and that's what you want in a sports car. And I will tell you that they worked really hard and diligently to get the new Corvette perfectly balanced. And, boy, it is a beauty. I got a chance to ride in one. My buddy Craig bought one for his wife, and it's magnificent. If I could afford one, I'd love to buy it.
We saw the Corvette with 1,036 horsepower.
Oh, yeah. The new ZL1.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
And it was based on the Sideswipe model that came out in 2009. They never built it, but they used a lot of the stuff out of it. And that car is sitting in the museum. And you see these concept cars, and then you see what they evolved into, and they show you. You're just kind of going, wow, these ideas have been around a while.
Yeah, they definitely have.
So when you had the Corvair, and you were forward thinking an engine in the back for a Corvette.
Yeah, exactly. And the reason that the Corvair came about is to compete against the Volkswagen Beetle and price, affordability, handling, and all that. Well, you know how the handling went.
Oh, yeah.
George Nader got a hold of that. Ralph Nader got a hold of that, and that was the end of that. But at any rate, well, George, it's great to talk to you. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Great to talk to you guys. Always great to listen to you.
Thank you, man.
Thank you, George.
We appreciate it. And next time you're in Houston, Texas, which will probably be never, be sure and come and join us in the studio.
He can drive down in that new Corvette.
E-Ray.
Yeah, come down in the new Corvette. You're going to get Twilight.
Yeah, that's it.
Got it.
If your wife will let you.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
exactly. Thank you, George. Take care of
Thank you,
yourself.
sir.
God bless.
Thank you. Bye-bye.
Bye. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show is available 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk. Grab a podcast anytime from your favorite podcast provider. We also video stream our live 2-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show continues right after this quick break.
The original group of Lupe Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipe means when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the first Lupe Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here is the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupe Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupe Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupe Tortilla Katie's another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupe's. It's located on 99 the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Lupe Tortilla in College Station. Located just around the corner from Kyle Field, it's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Going to Louisiana? The Lupe Tortilla in Beaumont. It's on I-10, so you can't miss it. The original group of Lupe Tortilla restaurants has the best Tex-Mex anywhere, and you're invited anytime. Your car is a direct reflection of you, so don't be satisfied with color fade or a dingy, dull appearance. Get rid of those terrible automated car wash scratches. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your Save the Paint company. John Gray and his team of detailing experts can help your cars finish without a full repaint. Searching for the real experts in window tint or windshield protection? Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Dash cams, radar detectors? Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Got a new car? Get that thing protected as soon as you take delivery. If you don't know which of the multitude of protection products to go with, John Gray will give you an honest opinion and won't sell you something you don't need or can't afford. John will help you understand the many options and pricing right on the spot. He's your guy to have your ride looking its best and protected too. See the state-of-the-art shop yourself. Free tours anytime. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is easy to get to, located just south of the Southwest Freeway on the Sam Houston Parkway. Gulf Coast Auto Shield, full-service luxury car care today, and online at gcautoshield.com.
Hey, thanks for joining us today here on the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Time now for the Cruise In and Events calendar.
Right. Well, we got the usual suspects going on for the...
Now, tomorrow is Chrome and Coffee.
I was just about to say that.
But I don't know what the forecast is going to be.
Okay.
And my plan is I'm going to get up in the morning and I'm going to wash the car. If it's not raining, and if the forecast is such that it looks like I can beat it back home before the rain starts, then I'll go over there. It's the Avalon Downer in the Fountains.
Yep, I was going to mention that.
Off of 59 and 90.
Now, the ones I'm talking about are going to be for next weekend because we've already announced the ones for this weekend. You got a lot of Labor Day stuff, a lot of things going on both Sunday and Monday. But next week, you got Octane and Espresso, September 8th. It's sponsored by the Speed Advocates.
Where's that?
Black Rifle Coffee Company in Copperfield, 7086 Highway 6 North. It's a family-friendly event. Be mindful and respectful of the property around you.
It's
no
Saturday?
burnouts. Next 8th, the 8th is Saturday. Yeah.
Okay.
Then you've got Rudy's Country Store Barbecue and Tomball coming up. It's second and fourth Thursday. It's coming up in the
That's
middle of
too
the
hard
week.
to remember.
Well, it's there. When you go out there, you'll enjoy it. It's in Tomball. And remember to be respectful to the properties around you. And I say that because there's always the caveat that people are being knuckleheads out there and things. Then we've got, of course, coming up, Woody's. I almost said Rudy's. Woody's 6th annual Waterfront Rod and Custom Show. No cars above the year 2004. And for those that want to know when it is September 28th, 8 a.m. till 4 p.m.
Should I bring the Corvette?
It's up to you.
Why do you have to think about it, Mars? You're supposed to say absolutely.
Well, no,
you should
I'm
bring the
thinking,
Corvette.
I'm just trying to figure out why you never have.
Because it wasn't in
Didn't you bring it one time with Leslie?
No. I drove it there,
Yeah.
but I didn't show it there.
Oh.
Well, do it.
Because
really.
now it's 2004.
Yeah, 2004.
I think
That's true.
I think before it was, it wasn't included.
Right, that's true. That's
Anyways.
true. This is the first year he's done that.
Top Water Grill, 815 Avenue Zero in San Leon.
Avenue Zero? You
Avenue
mean
Zero.
Avenue O.
Avenue Zero. It's O.
my God.
77539er. Just go out there. We'll be there. It's really cool. First 50 people get T-shirts and all that stuff. Don't bring your own alcohol. They do have a bar. They've got some really good drink.
Bloody Marys.
Yeah, I know.
Absolutely.
Have you warned him?
Have you warned
now
who?
I was going to wait and see what Woody does. After last year, he may not. Last year he said, give them what they want. He may not do that this year.
No, he's already said it. In my mind, he's already said it.
All right, we're going with that.
All right.
And, we got some stuff for the racing racing segment coming up, too.
Okay,
so.
because Cruise Internet Events is one.
Yeah.
All right.
Gotcha.
Here's the story out of the automotive news world from automotivenews.com. Ford Motor Company told employees it would modify its diversity, equity, and inclusion initiatives, ending participation in a notable ranking by an LGBTQ advocacy group, joining a series of companies, including Lowe's and Harley-Davidson, in curtailing some of the programs. Quote, "We are mindful that our employees and customers hold a wide range of beliefs," Ford Chief Executive Jim Farley wrote in an internal email, which was shared with Bloomberg by anti-DEI activist Robbie Starbuck and confirmed as authentic by the company. Ford said it will no longer engage with the human rights campaigns. What?
I was going to have you turn him off.
Oh. I think he's just going to open the door. I think the dog wants back in, doesn't
No,
she?
she's
Dog's
right
inside.
there.
Oh. Is it raining or something, Mars?
No, I don't know what that was.
Okay. Maybe it was a squirrel on the roof.
Could be. Squirrel?
So I'm going to start this paragraph again,
Sure.
barring any further interruptions. Ford said it will no longer engage with the Human Rights Campaign's Corporate Equality Index and various places to work lists, and that it refocused employees' resource groups and opened them to all its workers. Carmaker also said it would shift some of its corporate sponsorships and comment less on polarizing issues. Tractor Supply Company, Deere and Company, and Harley-Davidson each said they'd revise their DEI initiatives after Starbucks started a stream of posts on social media platform X, attacking what he describes as woke policies out of step with their customers. Ford's Farley is on Harley's board, and John May, the CEO of Deere, is a director for Ford. Starbucks took credit for changes at Lowe's, saying on X, the company announced changes to its DEI policy after Starbucks contacted the home improvement retailer last week. Jack Daniels, whiskey maker, Brown-Forman Company, also told its staff last week it was ending DEI programs. Starbucks said he was investigating Ford's policies before the announcement. Ford declined to comment beyond the memo. Oh, well.
Oh,
C'est la vie?
lovey.
Yeah.
What? You didn't comment. You were going to say something?
No, Jeff said it, Levy.
Okay. I think I'm going to save that story.
Did he ever get it?
I don't think it did.
Pardon me?
We're just talking amongst ourselves.
You don't mind us.
Okay, I won't. IndyCar and the hybrid system.
Oh, yeah.
Did you know that they've debuted it?
Mm-hmm.
You did? I was not aware of that.
I wasn't either.
Yeah.
They did debut it at the Mid-Ohio course in Lexington, Ohio. Pato O'Ward with a Chevrolet-powered Arrow McLaren was the winner of that race.
Yep.
So it's
He's
just around.
He's one of the top drivers there.
It's just around the corner. TikTok video filmed August 10th at Gossett Kia starts like countless other vehicle deliveries that dealerships regularly share on social media. A hearty handshake from a smiling salesman, applause, and FU's congratulations from around the showroom. But as more than 15 million viewers have now seen the video, then abruptly cuts to the customer in handcuffs, surrounded by 3 police officers, while Kool and the Gang's celebration nonchalantly continues to play in the background. The customer's companion can be heard saying, "Now wait a minute, what's going on here?" Police in Memphis, Tennessee said the man arrested in the video is trying to defraud the dealership by stealing a dead person's identity. They were called to the store when William Hayes, 63, allegedly gave employees a fake driver's license to buy a pair, mind you, of Kia Tellurides worth, in total, $158,885. While waiting for the officers to arrive, the dealership proceeded with all of the paperwork and filmed the congratulatory video. Hayes was then cuffed with the keys to both vehicles in his hands. He was charged with forgery and attempted theft, according to a statement on the Memphis Police Facebook page. Bond was set at $50,000. The 18-second video was posted to TikTok with the hashtag Justice Served and a cheeky caption, POV. You steal a dead person's identity and try to buy a car, and they trick you into thinking they really got away with it, and then the cops arrest you. Pardon me. But I thought that was an interesting thing.
Yeah.
There's that.
Yep.
And no comment.
No, it's just he deserved it.
Yeah.
Well, I think it's people. It amazes me sometimes what people have the guts to do that they think they can do and get away with.
Yeah. Well, I'm glad for the dealership in catching the person in the act.
Well, it's not like buying 2 cars at one time is not something suspicious.
Yeah, that's a little unusual.
Yeah.
But unusual, yes, but not out of the ordinary. I mean, I would imagine that there are occasions that somebody would go into a dealership. Matter of fact, I have worked for a dealership that actually happened. They went in, bought a Nova and a Camaro at the same time.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
Back in the day,
Yeah.
there was no identity theft, and nobody thought anything of it.
And back then, the cars weren't $50,000 a piece either.
That's true.
Yeah. Probably didn't spend $50,000 for both of them. Yeah.
Probably 20, if that.
All right. We'd love to hear from you. Anytime you want to, just shoot us an email. The address here is info@inwheeltime.com. We start hour 2 of this magnificent broadcast right after this quick break. So we hope that you'll stay with us.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000 square foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. The award-winning In Wheel Time Car Talk Show brings you great guest interviews each week from manufacturers and suppliers to the aftermarket, racers, enthusiasts, and other friends just like you and me who love to talk about all things automotive. The In Wheel Time Car Talk Show takes it to the road, too, with remotes at Tailpipes and Tacos, Woody's Waterfront Car Show, and the Hemi Hideout. In Wheel Time's live video and audio stream can be found on the iHeartRadio app, YouTube, Facebook, and InWheelTime.com every Saturday, 10 a.m. to noon Central Time, or grab a podcast anytime from your favorite podcast provider.
You've got the award-winning In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show coming up. If you've been holding off buying a new car, John Vincent from U.S. News and World Report says you may want to rethink that. I'll give you my thoughts on driving the 2024 Subaru WRX. Jeff has the Motor Minute. That and more in this segment of the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Howdy, along with Mike out of this world, Mars down there in the safety green shirt. We always need more Jeff Zekin. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. Our chief engineer and chief cook and bottle washer, David Ainsley.
David.
You remember the last time you saw David?
Didn't we go to San Quentin and visit him on a Sunday or something?
I think it was that.
He visited us in San Quentin, if you remember.
Is that what it was?
It was a remote. No, it was a hot rod tour, wasn't it?
No.
he didn't go.
It was Granbury.
Granbury
Was the last one before it got hot.
Did he even make it back from Granbury?
I don't think so. I think he's still up there. I think he liked it too well.
I think he does. Well, we knew he went on vacation to the UP and enjoyed the heck out of that. Good for him.
Well, we saw the videos.
Yeah.
That's about
all
it.
the pictures and all the nice stuff going on. So, yeah, we really haven't met up with him.
No, I haven't seen him either.
Yeah.
I did have dinner with him one night down in
his end of the world.
In his end of the world, yeah.
Well, he wasn't at Lupe Tortilla was before Granbury. Okay.
Yeah, Granbury was it, and then we hit a run here starting with Woody's, and
we buried ourselves here in the studio trying to fend off the heat.
Yes.
Yeah. We need to have him on as a guest.
No. We're good. Why is now a good time to buy a car? Do you know?
Interest rates are going down, maybe?
Yeah.
Prices are going down?
Inventory is up.
Yeah.
And our buddy with U.S. News and World Report, John Vincent, joins us now. John, good morning. It's good to see you. Look at you sitting in the front seat, looking at the back seat. We're sitting in the back seat. I like it.
I need to fix that.
No, don't fix it. It's absolutely perfect.
I like it.
We like sitting in the back seat.
What is it?
What is it we sitting in the back seat of? It's a Mercedes.
Acura TLX Type S.
Oh, my gosh. Well, that's nice.
It's only got 2 pedals, though.
Yeah, only 2 pedals.
Yeah.
Yeah, but that's okay.
One of the pedals is really good.
Yeah, yeah, and don't forget those paddle shifters that are up on the steering wheel.
Good eye.
Well, John, it's good to see you, my friend. How have you been?
I have been good. I've been very busy this summer, but
with
good.
Work?
With work. Driving a lot of stuff.
Well, that's good, yeah. Well, we have too. And what are you driving this week, if I may ask?
I have a Subaru Crosstrek this week.
Oh, yeah.
Oh.
We like that Crosstrek. Yeah. I just got out of the Subaru WRX. Have you driven one of those yet?
I have. I had that last month.
Yeah. We had one with a little 6-speed in it, and it was really nice.
That's a very good 6-speed and a really good clutch.
Yes, you were exactly right. As a matter of fact, I pointed that out when I drove it. I told you guys. That is the smoothest shifting car I think I've ever been in my entire life.
You said this thing needs a clutch. That's what you said.
No, I didn't.
No, that's what you said whenever they picked it up.
Yeah.
I think the Miata still wins on the best clutch, but this one's close.
Yeah, I got you. So the story today is why may now be the best time to buy a car. Now, we can always say, oh, wait just a couple of more months and it's really going to get good, and it may very well. But for those people that have had this pent-up desire to buy a new car, whether they're forced into it or really want one, now may be a pretty good time because interest rates are coming down.
Well, interest rates are starting to come down, and it's the time of the year where the year-end kickoff sales really start going. I mean, it used to be fantastic in the fall because everybody was turning over everything. Now cars are introduced throughout the year. It's not quite the same, but there are still plenty of good deals out there. Inventories are strong. Interest rates are starting to slide down a little bit, and all the factors are coming together for it to be a buyer's market again.
And for the first time in quite a while, incentives seem to be growing on a lot of cars.
Yes, they do.
Yeah, and I think that that's the real hook on some of these, because you're looking at some of the cars that I've heard of that are incentivized, that they're giving almost 0% financing and long-term payback on them and $1,000 cash, whatever you want to do with it. Things like that.
Yep, everything's coming back. Cashback's back. Lower interest rates, really good leases. Everything's on the table right now.
Do you see a lot of people leasing as opposed to buying?
So leasing pre-pandemic was about a third of the market, if you can believe it.
Yep.
It plunged during the pandemic, and it hasn't recovered yet. But it's still, around a quarter-ish of the market.
Well, a quarter is pretty significant when you're talking about millions and millions of cars.
Yeah, and it's very geographical. Some cities and states, the lease rates are much, much higher than others.
Yeah. Well, and leasing to me, I wouldn't necessarily lease a car, but I would buy a car off lease. And that market has pretty much dried up, has it not?
Well, during the pandemic, when leasing kind of went away, the pipeline for certified used cars that would be coming back went away.
Yeah.
So it's much tougher to find a certified used car right now.
What are people buying right now?
SUVs, compact SUVs.
Compact SUVs. I know that there's this movement afoot with the manufacturers backing off of building these mega factories, including mega battery factories, because the sales rate on the EVs, it hasn't gone away, but it's not what they predicted it to be. The take rate just isn't there. And now all of a sudden they're going, oh, but we build hybrids. We have hybrids. And it seems to me that, and I've said this for several years now, I've always thought that hybrids really are the way to go. If you want gas mileage, the advantages of, really good gas mileage, but you don't really have to worry too much about the charging stations.
Right. I drive my personal car is a plug-in hybrid. So it's an electric car for short trips and a gas car for long trips.
Yeah. And the advantage there is that especially if you drive around town, it really is the perfect car to have. How many miles?
I have about 30 miles of range. That covers my wife's commute perfectly. So, she gets home from work, we plug the car in, and it's got a full tank the next morning.
Yeah. And, I've discovered I work 30 miles from work, and I've been getting EVs for whatever reason here lately in the press fleet. And I have found I can really quell my anxiety over charging places by plugging it in when I get to work, which is a 110 charger basically, and plugging it in when I get home. So it takes care of almost the trip going to work for 8 hours of charging almost, and then I get home, charges overnight, and I'm good to go. I kept that thing almost at 100% charge the entire week that I had it.
People ask me how long it takes to charge an electric car, and I tell them, maybe a minute or two, because that's how long it takes me to plug it in.
That's
and
right.
Then it's ready to go the next morning.
Yeah.
So I don't really care how long it takes.
Yeah, and I don't have a level 1 or level 2 charger. I've got, that 110 volt on the front porch that I plug it into. And for me, that works just fine. However, with what you're driving, with the plug-in hybrid, I would do just fine with that. 30 miles to work, 30 miles on a charge it all day. I got a full charge when I get in, make it back home. Rarely do I use gasoline. So there's a kudo.
Not only do I have a full charge, but the car can do what's called preconditioning and have the temperature in the cabin correct when I get to the car, using electricity instead of the power on board the car.
You mean to tell me that you have heat up there?
Not like your heat.
That's good. Well, yeah.
Although I was in D.C. this last week, and it was 101 with 90% humidity.
Yeah, well, that's our heat
that'll
there.
do it.
Yeah, but we're not in Washington. We're here along the coast. But I can tell you that we envy those people that have a nice middle of the road summer when it comes to temperatures are concerned. I think we're over the 100 degrees now. We got some rain back in the forecast, and I think that the hot part of summer, for the most part, is done here. Well, so what kind of car do you have that the wife drives?
I have a Jeep Grand Cherokee 4xE.
4xE. Okay, I got you. Yep, we've driven those. We
I
like those.
The Grand Cherokee.
Yeah, a lot. Yeah, I think that the shine has kind of gone off of the Grand Cherokee, and I'm not exactly sure why. It won every award known to man, and they sold a bajillion of them. But I think that the competition got a whole lot stronger in that market.
The competition got a whole lot stronger in that market, and the price of the Grand Cherokee got very high.
Yeah.
It's gotten lower in the last couple of years, actually, because they realized they reached a little too far into the stratosphere on that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. So speaking of that, let's talk about Stellantis for a moment, shall we?
He's grinning.
Because there are now calls from the UAW for Mr. Tavares to resign his position because he's ruining what once was a great American company. And sales over at Stellantis have gone down the toilet, and we're saddened by that.
So am I. I mean, Stellantis and its Jeep, Dodge, Ram divisions, they make some great cars, but some of their other divisions are bringing them down. Chrysler is a one-car brand. It's really hard to have a brand that only can make one car, and that's the minivan. Dodge right now is a one-car brand. It's actually two-car. They have the Hornet and the Durango right now. Don't have any other cars in the market. It's really hard to survive when you're doing that.
I guess it all falls on the CEO of the company, but here's the question. What are they thinking over there? They have nothing in the pipeline. They're going to go all electric, but in the meantime, let's go ahead and kill off the number one performance brand in the entire world. They've worked decades in perfecting the marketing skills and 1,000 horsepower under the hood, sold them like no tomorrow, and we're not going to do that anymore.
You would think the stockholders would be up in arms with that, because I think what they're doing is they're surrounding themselves with these people with all these great young ideas. Like you went into a woke story before. I think that's happening, but not as prevalent, not as in your face. That's what's happening, in my opinion.
I think the product pipeline was supposed to accelerate a whole lot faster than it did. I think a lot of those cars were supposed to be in the marketplace by now, and everything's been delayed. So they have this gap. And gaps are never good for automakers.
No, I mean, there's no product. Unless you want a Hornet, forget it. You ain't going to get anything else because that's all we got. I'm surprised that the dealers haven't retaliated.
I'm a little surprised too, but they have a lot of promises out there for a lot of pretty good looking stuff, but we just haven't seen it delivered.
And weren't they?
It's sad, and it's what the union was complaining about, is that they promised a Ram factory for a new mid-size pickup truck. And now they're saying maybe we're not going to build that mid-size pickup truck and utilize that plant and employ a whole bunch of union workers.
That was the Belvedere factory that you're talking about, right?
Yep.
And didn't they, during the contract negotiations when everybody was on strike, wasn't Stellantis and their factories they were all up front with, hey, we're going to strike and we're going to be on the news, and that was all part of it. Now there's a little bit of payback.
Exactly, and it's going to be another test of the union. Mm-hmm. Although the union is union's acting pretty united these days, so the union has a lot of strength right now. But they can't really tell Stellantis that they have to build a car if Stellantis doesn't think that it's going to pencil out.
So the rumor has it that with the UAW calling for his resignation, do you think that that's going to pan out? Do you think that the guy's going to resign? I doubt it.
I doubt it. I think those decisions are actually made in Europe for Stellantis right now, and not made based on what's happening in the U.S.
Well, I think that's part of the problem, because the the Japanese car makers, whenever they started coming over here and bringing their cars over here, they wanted to sell and do their cars the way they did over there. And I think that's part of the same problem. Now you've got a leadership team that's coming from a different part of the world, a different culture, whatever you want to call it, and they're making decisions that don't necessarily fit the North American market in the way it's been in the past. And I think that's a big part of the problem.
Yep.
Don't forget Hoffa resigned.
Jimmy Hoffa resigned.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah. I worry about my friends, and I call them my friends. Mike, you and I both have been up to Auburn Hills. We have friends that still work there, and I worry about their jobs. And
I do too.
And I, you being in the same industry that we are here with, doing car reviews and looking at cars and getting to drive new cars every week and doing reviews, we worried about those friends. And if you live in a city, whether you're in the automobile industry or not, if you live in a city that basically makes their living off of building cars or supplying the manufacturers, you got to worry about your next door neighbor.
Absolutely. And, if a factory closes, it devastates the entire community because, people aren't going to the grocery store. People aren't going to the restaurants. It takes the whole city down.
Yeah, it does. Well, and I can personally tell you and attest to that. Janesville, Wisconsin, my brother worked at the GM factory there. They made Suburbans back in the day, made all sorts of stuff because it was a very old factory there in Janesville. That factory not only doesn't exist, they mowed it down. It's gone. All it is a big pile of rubble in a very large area of the city of Janesville, Wisconsin. And we kind of took a tour around it last time I was up there in the spring. And there are little bars here, and Steve and Penny, my cousin Steve and his wife, they said, oh, yeah, that was the bar that was popular with all of the shift workers at the plant. And so when they get off work, they would go there. It was like almost a 24-hour bar, a little bitty hole-in-the-wall place. But we've all been to those places.
Yep.
The factory shut down. That was the end of the bar. That was the end of relationships. That was the end of friendships. People had no place to go. They had nothing where and
it's a social center.
Yeah, pretty much. And that's just one aspect of a small town in Wisconsin. And I drive past Belvedere going from Chicago area from the airplane up to Wisconsin, and I see that big, ginormous plant there, and I'm thinking, man, they built some really cool cars there back in the day, and then they shut that factory down. And it really is devastating, and I don't think that most people really think about that. Well, thanks for listening to our drivel, John.
It's okay. I enjoyed it.
Thank you. Well, you can be our therapist up there. Is that okay?
And I think riding around in the Acura kind of helps out.
Yeah, that's right. And especially with you turned around looking in the back seat. I like it.
Well, they should bring that back. They have station wagons. You could look in the rear.
That's right.
In the back.
There
so
you
that
go.
could be a new thing.
That's it.
Bring it
But
back.
remember, the windows of those station wagons opened so the kids could puke out the back window. You can't do that with
You've got experience.
Yeah, you've been there, done that.
John, it's great to talk to you, my friend. Tell everybody up there we said hello.
LPD.
Yeah, that's it.
For more puking stories, you can contact.
That's right. U.S. News and World Report.
There you go.
John Benson, good to talk to you. Good to see you, my friend. Take care of yourself. We'll talk
Great
again
talking
soon.
to you guys.
You bet.
Okay.
How funny.
Yeah, good guy. Good guy.
All right. I guess, do I need to take a break
We
here?
can.
Okay,
Want
let's
to get ahead of the game.
And
right
you
at
can catch the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show 24/7 through the iHeartRadio app. Just look for In-Wheel Time Car Talk. We also video stream our live 2-hour weekly show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com. And podcasts are available from your favorite podcast provider. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show will continue right after this quick break.
The original group of Lupe Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipe means when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the first Lupe Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here is the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupe Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupe Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupe Tortilla Katy is another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupe's. It's located on 99 the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Lupe Tortilla in College Station. Located just around the corner from Kyle Field, it's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Going to Louisiana, the Lupe Tortilla in Beaumont is on I-10, so you can't miss it. The original group of Lupe Tortilla restaurants has the best Tex-Mex anywhere, and you're invited anytime. Your car is a direct reflection of you, so don't be satisfied with color fade or a dingy, dull appearance. Get rid of those terrible automated car wash scratches. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your Save the Paint company. John Gray and his team of detailing experts can help your cars finish without a full repaint. Searching for the real experts in window tint or windshield protection? Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Dash cams, radar detectors, Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Got a new car? Get that thing protected as soon as you take delivery. If you don't know which of the multitude of protection products to go with, John Gray will give you an honest opinion and won't sell you something you don't need or can't afford. John will help you understand the many options and pricing right on the spot. He's your guy to have your ride looking its best and protected too. See the state-of-the-art shop yourself. Free tours anytime. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is easy to get to, located just south of the Southwest Freeway on the Sam Houston Parkway. Gulf Coast Auto Shield, full-service luxury car care today, and online at gcautoshield.com.
It's the In Real Time Car Talk Show. Thanks for joining us today. You know, fall's right around the corner, and the In Real Time has some remote broadcasts lined up, including Woody's Waterfront Car Show, September 28th, Hemi Hideout Open House, November 9th, and Houston Autorama Thanksgiving weekend. We hope that you'll stop by and say hello when we're out there. Time now for this hour's Motor Minute.
Yeah, I want to bring you a little bit of update on John Force. Jack Beckman is taking over the ride for the last 7 races, and here's how that goes. So the 7 races left, according to the NHRA rules, when a driver is unable to compete, the race team may bring in a substitute who can earn points for the original driver in a maximum of 8 tour events. This is the 7th. So he can actually join. He could have joined last time when they raced, but they had some off time and all this other stuff.
Right.
So Beckman will close out the final 7 races of the year as a substitute for Force. John's continuing to recover in his Southern California home from the accident. We all know that. It happened in Richmond, Virginia. Beckman's words were, it's still John's car. Nobody's replacing John Force. He gets the shoe, and for right now, they got a great hot rod. And, of course, they had some incidents where they put some plugs out and all that stuff on the last run. But Force is a little bit of a different driver. Jack weighs more than John. He does the clutch different. Backing up after the burnout is a little different. So the teams have to adapt to that. So the funny car points are as follows. Austin Prock is number 1 with 1,100 points, 1,100 plus points. Bob Tasca, love his mom. Bob Tasca the third. His mom is great. 972 points. Hagen is 960. 4th is J.R. Todd. And, of course, 5th would be John Force / Jack Beckman. So wish him all the luck. And, you know, he still can win the championship for John, which will be the umpteenth. 19, 20, something of that nature. He's won 18, 16 or 18 championships. So that continues, and we wish him well on that. And Mike just mentioned that we may have some surprises coming up with Jack in the near future.
Well, I want you to know that there was somebody had written an article, and one of the things that I watch on NHRA, and they were saying, you know, there's a hole in the pits this weekend at the U.S. Nationals for the first time since John's been racing that he's not been at the U.S. Nationals. And this is really the biggest race, so to speak, in NHRA.
It's kind of like a homecoming.
Well, it's like their Daytona or their Indy, that type of
well, it is Indy
function.
So, So at any rate, we wish him well, and hopefully that we'll see him soon. Time now for this hour's car review. I had a chance to drive the 2024 Subaru WRX. It comes in base, trim level, premium, limited, TR, and GT. I had the TR.
Okay.
Could you go through that one more time?
I had the TR. RUH.
RUH.
I have no clue what that means. Maybe you can decipher it. There it is, the window sticker on it. You tell me what the R is. It's a mid-size sedan. Seats 5, including the driver. This particular body style was all new in 2022. Exterior features bulging fenders on an Impreza sedan body. Sharp-looking front end with a great big hood scoop on it. Quad pipes, dual exhaust, but quad pipes, with a racy lower valance in the back. TR-style wheels look great and exclusive to the trim level. I curb rashed one really bad.
Uh-oh.
And I called the lady that takes care of the car, and she said, "Oh, don't worry about it." I felt so bad. It was one of those wheels right there. I felt so bad that I told her, I said, "I'll pay to get the wheel fixed." I never do that. Well, guess what? I did do it. What I liked about it, the overall look and stance gets an A on my list. What could use improvement? Offer a hatchback version, because this one's got a trunk. Anyway, interior highlights, Recaro seats, sports seats. They're standard with this particular model. High bolstered with the TR trim level. Huge infotainment screen that's easy to use. Black everything inside. Could use some color accents, though. I don't know. Red stitching just doesn't seem enough. Need some highlights in there. Little pop to it.
Yep.
Smooth shifter on this thing. Cargo trunk room, well, it's small. What I liked about it, the dash layout in this thing is excellent. What could use improvement? Bigger differentiation from the premium trim to this hot rod trim. 2.4-liter Boxer turbo motor. 271 horsepower, 258 pound-feet of torque, 6-speed manual transmission. This is the smoothest shifting transmission I think I've ever had in my entire life. Did you find out what RUH
No,
means?
we're working on it.
RUH. Mars RUH.
Well, I got the TR, but
No, the
RUH.
RUH.
Nobody seems to know what the RUH
I think
is.
it's the sound you make when you scuff a wheel.
Oh, God. No, but I had a lot of things on my body that were puckering up.
Oh,
right
no.
there.
Well, stuff happens.
19 miles per gallon city, 26 highway for a combined of 22 is what it's rated. I got 25.4 over 301.2 miles. What I liked about it, the power is plenty adequate for this car.
It's a fast little car.
What could use improvement? Just throwing this out there at Subaru. How about putting another turbo on it? Make it a twin turbo.
Ooh.
I don't know whether whether the four-banger would do it or not, whether it would hold up, but hey,
Screaming.
The TR gets handling upgrades that include sticky tires and bigger brakes. What I liked about it, the race car feel of this car. This thing, it feels like you could just throw it around in corners, and clearly I did right to the curb. But I didn't do it intentionally, and I wasn't racing it. Also, what could use improvement? I think adjustable dampers on it would be good. Base trim price, $41,655. Price is tested $42,907. The base model price is $32,735. Competitors, Toyota Corolla, $36,500. The Hyundai Elantra N, $33,700. The Mazda 3 2.5 turbo, $36,635. And I had to throw the VW Golf GTI in there for $31,965. Fun car, good looking. I think you should go for one. Go and drive one. You're going to go, well, I think he was right, Martha.
Martha knows.
Martha knows. All right. Let's see. I got to change the page here.
Yeah, we got a break coming up.
That's why I'm trying to get to that.
Okay.
So don't be pushing on me. Hey, if you'd
sick.
like,
You're sick.
I'm sick, and I don't feel.
You know, I've been trying to keep my distance here.
Yeah,
so,
hey, if you'd like to get in touch with us, shoot us an email. The address is info@nwheeltime.com. We are back after this quick break.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. The award-winning In Will Time Car Talk Show brings you great guest interviews each week from manufacturers and suppliers to the aftermarket, racers, enthusiasts, and other friends just like you and me who love to talk about all things automotive. The In Will Time Car Talk Show takes it to the road, too, with remotes at Tailpipes and Tacos, Woody's Waterfront Car Show, and the Hemi Hideout. In Will Time's live video and audio stream can be found on the iHeartRadio app, YouTube, Facebook, and InWillTime.com every Saturday, 10 a.m. to noon Central Time, or grab a podcast anytime from your favorite podcast provider.
This is the world's favorite place to go to for fun and informative car talk. It's the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Just ahead, the Lilienthals join us for another road trip story, this time Europe.
Oh, my.
Special feature also on how much the tech in your car costs you time and costs you money. Later, Jeff has the racing calendar. Mars has This Week in Auto History, and I'll get you caught up on the stories making automotive news headlines. Howdy, along with Mike Out of This World, Mars. We always need more Jeff Zekin. Our chief engineer, David Ainsley, sleeping in as usual. I'm Don Armstrong. Glad you could join us today. And look who's joining us now. Woo-woo. Ladies and gentlemen, are you back home? Are you guys back home?
In Indiana.
Are you back home in the Pacific Northwest? We can't hear you.
I've got to unmute on your end.
You have to unmute. Oh, my God.
Gosh.
It's a broadcast.
Is this your first time?
Yeah, this is the first time using a computer.
You guys just let us in about 20 seconds ago, so I was trying to get in for 10 minutes. So, no, I just landed back home, what was it, 6 o'clock last night? So I had a tandem trip. Andy got back 10 days ago.
Yeah, about 10 days ago.
So,
So are you a little bit jet lagged?
Yeah, it was only from Wisconsin, but it was very hot, very muggy, lots of thunderstorms, severe weather, par for the course around this time of year.
So that was Wisconsin, but I thought we were going to talk. Well, wait a minute. Wisconsin, Baltic Sea road trip. Baltic Sea road trip. I can't keep up with them.
No, you can't. No.
Yeah, via Pennsylvania and SubiFest on tour with Subaru of America and Subaru Motorsports. That was right before. So that was the first part of the tandem.
Oh, yeah. So wait a minute. You've been to see the people with Subaru?
Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, so we have. I just did a review.
Oh, yeah.
I just did a review of the Subaru WRX, but we couldn't figure out that it is the TR trim level. But what is a RUH? RUH. That's what it says on the window sticker.
On the Maroni.
But we don't know what RUH stands for, and we can't find it anywhere.
It's TR/RUH.
So, with your connections with Subaru, there's the question to ask from the In Wheel Time folks down in the south of the world.
There you go.
We will find out.
Yeah.
We tried to Google it, too. It didn't work.
Yeah.
No, Andy's literally texting our PR contact right now, so maybe we'll have an answer before the end of our segment.
Okay, cool.
So, tell me about the trips. I want to know.
Well, Andy is the driver. Maybe I should start talking before as he's texting. But
it was. We did the Baltic Sea Circle Rally, which is a 16-day, 9-country rally, and we did 7,500 kilometers, which in freedom units is 4,660 miles.
Oh,
and
my.
We ended up doing, we clocked ourselves, our own team was 4,771 miles, and we were the only EV team, so the only all-electric team this year. And we learned that we were the first ever non-European team to ever attempt this rally in an all-electric car.
Wow.
Talk about range anxiety.
No kidding. So what did you have to tow a generator behind you, or how did that work?
No, we were very careful, and there was a lot of challenges, but it was all about how to pay for it.
So the whole thing is it's a bit of a choose your own adventure scenario, right? So you start outside of Hamburg, Germany, and then you have 16 days to do this route. But the route is very loosey-goosey. It's basically, they tell you, they give you suggestions like on night 1, you could stay here, or night 2, you could camp here, right? But honestly, it's kind of like, all right, we'll see you back in Hamburg in 16 days.
Oh, my.
And so
So it's way different than what we've ever done.
Yeah.
Not as structured.
Be perfectly on time, en route, on everything. So this is way opposite.
So we were able to choose the route we needed based on availability of chargers. So the other thing, two other aspects is you're not supposed to use GPS,
right?
And then you're also supposed to stick to back roads, so stay off the motorways,
right?
So
in an electric car.
So you're not using the GPS. How are you finding the charging stations? I mean, is your car allowed to tell you where the charger is?
So there's a bit of a leeway with the EVs. I mean, all of the rules are pretty self-enforced, and there's
so they're
no
kind
way
of like guidelines.
Wait a minute.
Yeah.
Wait a minute. Do they even have electricity at the Baltic Sea? I mean, it's like, really?
You would be surprised. It's pretty. The charging infrastructure in Europe is very good, especially in like Scandinavia. In Estonia, Latvia, Lithuania, not as good, but still easily doable. I shouldn't say easily, but still doable.
Right. And I mean, you know, Andy was a driver, I was a navigator, and so I was the statistical queen, shall we say. And the book that I held up beforehand, this is the route book. You can see how thick it is. It's about ½ an inch thick. And so each day they tell you where you can go and where you can camp and basically help you along with where you should be around those areas each day. Well, we had to use a GPS to find where we were charging. And while we paid for the whole rally ourselves, this was our 20th wedding anniversary gift to ourselves. We talked to Volkswagen of Germany because there's a very high-profile vehicle coming out into North America fourth quarter of this year, and it's the Volkswagen ID Buzz van.
Yeah.
And that's the all-electric van, and we drove the European spec short wheelbase version of it, the early generation slower horsepower version of it for the rally.
How
Very
cool is
good.
that? That's very cool. As a side note here, y'all ever fight in the car?
Oh yeah.
It's like, no, I told you not to turn there. Don't turn there.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it happens.
It happens.
You know, we always start out by saying, but we have a little bit of a pinky
swear.
A pinky swear. A pinky swear where we say, okay, like good communication, flexibility, don't hit any animals,
be kind to each other,
keep it shiny side up,
wheel side down,
and you know, that kind of thing. And so, like, okay, we know competition and this kind of stuff can get heated. And yeah, we do have arguments every now and then, but we come out the other side.
Right.
So
But
you said you were in 9 countries?
Yes.
9 countries.
So you have to learn the swear words in 9 different languages.
Right. Well, the other thing is another thing that we might have not said yet is we camped along the way, and most of the times we wild camped. So they don't tell you where to camp or hotel or stay with your friends or do whatever. You have to figure all of this out on your own. So, for instance, we've talked with you all about the Alcan 5000 rally that has established motels you stay at every night.
Right.
You'll figure all of this out on your own. So here's little old me. Andy's driving on a gravel road heading into Poland going, holy crap, is that the sign for Poland? And I'm looking on my paper maps because you have to, supply your own maps, by the way. Try to think of little old me in Oregon trying to order the latest and greatest paper maps from Estonia, Lithuania, Latvia, and Poland while living in the U.S. That's kind of a feat in itself because that, you know, dear Amazon or dear Google, that's not very friendly at all. But do that, you know, on the fly.
You know,
I think one of the things that has to be in your favor, you've established these roles. He's the driver. You're going to tell him where to go. You know, no arguments about it. You know, go here. And you know, it's not like normal.
He tells me where to go. So,
Well,
you know. on a friendly level.
But you know, there are times where she'll have her head down trying to find the next, kind of like the next turn or whatnot. And I remember her saying, "Oh, take a left on this street." So, and she's like, "Where are you going?" I'm like, "You told me to turn here." She's like, "Okay, thank you. I had my head down. I didn't remember that."
Right.
So, you know, we definitely have there has to be good communication on this, especially when you're on these. Like some of these roads, especially like in Norway, were absolutely really narrow and lots of tractors and very slow.
Very slow.
It was very slow going. The funny thing about it is the Alcan 5000 is 5,000 miles over 10 days. So you're averaging 500 miles a day. So when we heard about this rally, they're like, oh, you only have to do about 300 miles a day. I'm like, well, that's easy. Except what we didn't realize is that the speeds that we were going on these back roads were usually about
half as fast,
40 to 50 miles an hour.
Oh,
so
my gosh.
Long time to get anywhere.
And they were, when there was traffic, it was pretty much like a U.S. version of a one-lane road was their highways, their highway width. And a lot of it was back roads, right? So it's even much slower. And a lot of it was, you had to use paper maps. So that slowed you down. You had to stop a lot. We had to charge a lot. So we woke up on average 4:30 to 5 a.m. when everybody else was sleeping, if we stayed wild camping. Most of the times we were on our own, and we realized that. But sometimes we had an organized camp spot to try to shower if there was hot water or whatnot. Twice we had an Airbnb over the 16-day average. But most of the times, if there was anybody else, they were still fast asleep by the time we left. Because every time we stopped, we knew it was going to be at least half an hour, most likely more than 50 minutes an hour, while they ran in, petroled up, and then left in maybe 15 minutes.
So we'd start out, go past everybody, and as we charged, they'd pass us. So we kept up with the pace of the rally, which was the most important part, and we finished. The ID Buzz was actually a great camper van, super comfortable. It handled really well.
Did it have the Westphalia label on the back of it?
This one did not. But we had a system in the back. It came with this aftermarket system called a Coop. And it's a German-made camping module, and it's got a 2-burner stove, a little refrigerator, water, and then it also had a quite comfortable bed that folded out. So we were able to sleep in it.
So no Buc-ee's.
No Buc-ee's.
No Buc-ee's.
You wish.
No, but I'll tell you what, one of our things that we do, it's sort of this unofficial, unspoken rule is when we travel through different countries, we got to stop at the gas station and try what they've got at the gas station.
Oh,
God. We tried like the surprisingly good. They had. I'm not a black licorice fan, but I found black licorice that I like. We found chocolate bars that were really good.
Interesting.
And then here's the other one that kind of was a big surprise to me. Circle K, like the convenience store, is really a big deal in Scandinavia and the Nordic nations. And so good hot dogs at the Circle K.
I heard Scandinavia's got some good gas station sushi. Yeah.
You know what? I definitely did not do that, but we did have amazing salmon sandwich at 7-Eleven in Norway. It was unbelievable. It was beautiful.
One of the best things we ate the whole trip.
Oh my God! It makes my stomach hurt just hearing those words.
I'll leave it to the bears.
Right, yeah. Versus the inedible stuff that you get served here.
Yeah, there were no taquitos that had been on the rollers for 8 hours.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
One thing that we might want to add, though, when we were stopping at these convenience stores to charge up or finding these charge stations, the biggest hurdle was not how to charge, because we found the chargers easy enough, most of the times easy enough, and we did a ton of research before we got to Germany to start the rally, and we had, Andy created a huge, extensive document with all the different charging apps, what the companies were, how we downloaded them, and of these companies, which countries they would all charge or have chargers in. With that being said, it was, I think, May. The rally started in June. We said, okay, let's start downloading them on our U.S. phones. All right. After 2 or 3 tries,
not going to happen.
Not going to happen.
Kept saying we were out of the region and we couldn't download the apps. And go ahead.
No, and to his testament, we were like dead in the water. So luckily, I'm dual citizen. My sister lives over in Germany, and her nephew had an old iPhone.
Our nephew. Her son.
Yeah, her son.
No arguing. No arguing, you two.
Yeah, well, they've got a lot of practice in the car all those
times. Got 20 years worth of practice here.
There's a lot of pent-up anger here, I can tell.
But my nephew, our nephew, her son, had an old iPhone that he was able to loan us. They wiped it, loaded up a new SIM card. We got it all figured out, gave him the document, and he spent days downloading the program, got it all set up with my information, a new free German email address with, under my name, their German address, because I had to have a German base, a German phone, but my information and my credit card to make it work. That's how we paid for it.
Yeah, so basically, you can't just pull up to a charger and swipe your credit card like you can in the United States. You have to have the app or like tap credit card thing
proprietary app
from each one of the charging companies. So, and there are some cards and some apps that will work with multiple charging companies. So the bottom line is this. The charging infrastructure in Europe right now is better than it is in the United States. The downside is you have to have 16 apps. We literally downloaded 16 apps.
So here's the in-wheel time tip of the morning.
There you go.
You guys will become bajillionaires by putting all of that together and then selling that information to those people that are going to go on the Baltic Sea tour.
Yeah.
Yeah, right.
In an EV.
Among other things, yeah.
We're just going. Somebody's going to go to Poland. They want to go look around in Poland.
I bet you your passport's probably fully loaded up.
Yeah, right.
You know, so the areas we were in, they all have open borders. So there was only one passport stamp, which was Germany, which is where we flew in and out of. So all of those countries have open borders. Before 2022, they did go into Russia. Of course, with the invasion of Ukraine, they stopped doing that. So you take a ferry from Helsinki, Finland to Tallinn, Estonia instead.
Right.
What was your favorite country?
Oh, that's hard to answer.
I think for me, as a whole, Norway. Norway was one of the most beautiful places I've ever seen. I have very rarely been somewhere where around, you know, you're driving down and you see, we went, for instance, through Lillehammer, which was the 1994 Winter Olympics.
Yep.
And, you know, it's just this beautiful area. And, you know, you come around the bend and there's more beautiful areas. And then you go around another bend and you're like, it just doesn't stop. It was absolutely spectacular from tip to tail.
I would have to second that. I would think the further north you went for me in Norway, the more I want to go back and visit that whole area. So the northern half for me.
Okay, so let's all go. We'll all go together. The five of us. Well,
we need 6. We probably need to bring David.
We could just give you about 20 of us.
We'll probably
about 20 of us.
Yeah, and
tour bus.
Well, it'd be a tour trailer. A tour trailer. Yeah, except on those skinny roads that you're talking about. I love this stuff. So, are you guys got a book and plans for all of this stuff? How are we going to learn all this stuff from you guys?
There's so many people that are asking us and have asked us over the last several years to write a book. And, you know, I think with both of us being automotive journalists, we have so many articles about all of our rallies and all of our adventures out there. For me, with the Baltic Sea Circle Rally, we're writing many different articles. There are some that have already been published. I've got one via Autoblog out there. Andy's got a couple. Do you want to talk about your articles?
I've got an article in on GearJunkie.com about it, and then I have an article in the print edition of OVR magazine coming out. I'll also have a review of the ID Buzz European version, the Road Rally review on the Truth About Cars as well.
Well, look, I mean, we all know about Rick Steves, so I'm thinking Lilienthal's Adventures.
Yeah, maybe.
And a great TV show and audio and all of it.
Yeah.
I like it.
We love that. I mean,
Executive producer Don Armstrong.
And then the movie.
We'll give you a holler.
Yeah,
we'll give you a holler.
Give me a holler. That's
and then the movie.
We love you guys. Thank you very much for joining us today. Stay in touch with us. Where's the next adventure going to be?
Ooh.
Well, we'll let you two argue about it, and then you can let us know.
That's it. But
we can talk about some things. We have some really cool things coming up for next year that we cannot talk about yet. But for me, I've got a Buick launch coming up in early September that I'm going to be doing. That's embargoed right now, but I'll be on that. And then we're both attending SEMA this year, so we'll be doing that in November.
Got Alcan 5000 coming up next year, as well as a couple other things we can't talk about.
Hey, call us from SEMA, will you?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, we'd love to hear from you. Thank you all again. We love you both.
Thank you.
Y'all take care.
Take care.
Okay.
I'm so jealous.
I know. Hey, you're on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. We're going to take a quick break here, and we'll be right back.
I got to load it.
You didn't
I thought I did load it.
What'd you do?
I don't know.
Jeff did
boogered up.
It boogered up. Huh. It's having one of those moments. Are you ready now?
Yes, sir.
Okay. No.
I'm not ready.
That's the wrong one.
We're getting there.
Are you? Okay. Well, we're waiting for Jeff.
Okay, let's wait for me. Talk amongst yourself.
Well, no, because you're next anyway, because you got to do the racing calendar.
Yeah. This thing is messed up. Here we go.
And auto history, we got that going on. We got a lot going on
Something happening with that.
Well, I'll tell you what,
computer.
Mr. Morris, let's do this. Why don't we do the auto history? And don't worry about the pictures. Just do the auto history because we're running a little short of time.
All right. So we'll go through it. So Michael Schumacher, very famous name, was born in 1969 and in Germany. He came up through the go-kart community like a lot of people do. His first official entry into the world of Formula One racing came on August the 25th, 1991 at the Belgian Grand Prix. He was actually driving for the Jordan Ford team as a stand-in for the regular driver. And because he really did well in that, so that kind of pushed him on up into the world of Formula One. And he won motorsports. His records including 7 drivers' championships and 91 Grand Prix victories. That was Michael Schumacher.
Okay.
Introduced in 1927, August the 26th, the original LaSalle 303 was designed by Harley Earl, renowned GM designer. It was a shorter and more agile version than the larger Cadillac of the era, but it was a luxurious option to it. But a Cadillac V8 actually powered the LaSalle to keep it running.
The LaSalle.
LaSalle. Is that what I said?
LaSalle.
LaSalle. LaSalle.
Yeah.
LaSalle was priced between the Cadillac and the Buick.
Really close to San Leon.
San Leon.
It's the same place. LaSalle was priced between the Cadillac and the Buick, with the idea being that at the time, General Motors, the idea was that a person working their way in, their first car would be the Chevrolet, then they would work their way up through the Pontiacs, Oldsmobiles, Buicks, and everything up to the Cadillac. So as Cadillac's companion brand, LaSalle set second from the top tier for 13 years until they began taking sales from the Cadillac. After World War I, the economy kind of went kind of bad, and they figured out that Cadillac buyers were stepping down to save a little bit of money to the LaSalle. So they discontinued the LaSalle in 1942. Last one came off the assembly line. August the 27th, 1950, the Hudson Hornet was introduced, an iconic American car renowned for its performance and innovative design. The Hudson Motor Company created the Hornet. One thing that made it great was it had a step-down floor. The floor was actually below the frame, lowering the center of gravity, which is what made it so popular in NASCAR, or helped part of it. And under the hood, it was equipped with a 308 inline-6 engine. It was the twin H-Power. It had dual carburetors on the performance option. Delivered 170 horsepower, along with the lower stability. It dominated in NASCAR during the early 50s, won a lot of races. Beyond its races, the Hudson became stylish, and it was the Pixar's character Doc Hudson in the movie Cars. Formation of Lincoln Motor Company was August the 28th, 1970. Henry Leland, the guy from Cadillac, Jeff, and his son, they went together, created this company, and it was actually building motors for the war effort. 6,500 Liberty V12 high-quality Liberty aircraft engines for the war effort. After that, they started building the luxury cars until, again, the economy after World War I kind of got to them. And Ford Motor Company bought Lincoln for $8 million. And that's how Ford got into the luxury car market, and Lincoln became very famous as their luxury line. That's This Week in Auto History in a nutshell.
All right, thank you very much. We're going to take a quick break here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. We'll be back right after this.
The original group of Lupe Tortilla restaurants will have you telling your family and friends just what the original recipe means when it comes to the best fajitas in Southeast Texas. Founder Stan Holt invites you to visit the first Lupe Tortilla near I-10 and Highway 6. Here is the original house that inspired the design of all the rest and the original charm that helped make Lupe Tortilla the go-to destination for Houston Tex-Mex. Nothing can compete with the original lime pepper marinade that everyone will agree makes Lupe Tortilla award-winning beef fajitas the best anywhere. Lupe Tortilla Katie's another location that gives you the same quality and service Houstonians have come to expect at Lupe's. It's located on 99 the Grand Parkway at Kingsland Boulevard in Katy. Find yourself in Aggieland? Head to the Lupe Tortilla in College Station. Located just around the corner from Kyle Field, it's a great place to enjoy those famous frozen margaritas before or after the game. Going to Louisiana? The Lupe Tortilla in Beaumont is on I-10, so you can't miss it. The original group of Lupe Tortilla restaurants has the best Tex-Mex anywhere, and you're invited anytime. Your car is a direct reflection of you, so don't be satisfied with color fade or a dingy, dull appearance. Get rid of those terrible automated car wash scratches. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is your Save the Paint company. John Gray and his team of detailing experts can help your cars finish without a full repaint. Searching for the real experts in window tint or windshield protection? Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Dash cams, radar detectors, Gulf Coast Auto Shield. Got a new car? Get that thing protected as soon as you take delivery. If you don't know which of the multitude of protection products to go with, John Gray will give you an honest opinion and won't sell you something you don't need or can't afford. John will help you understand the many options and pricing right on the spot. He's your guy to have your ride looking its best and protected too. See the state-of-the-art shop yourself. Free tours anytime. Gulf Coast Auto Shield is easy to get to, located just south of the Southwest Freeway on the Sam Houston Parkway. Gulf Coast Auto Shield, full-service luxury car care today, and online at gcautoshield.com.
Welcome back to the In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Let's look at the racing calendar. Jeff's got that.
Okay, and it's sponsored by?
Oh, thank you. Texas Muscle Car Club Challenge.
Perfect.
Thank you.
NASCAR is at Darlington Raceway. Tickets are still available, Michael. It's going to be on September 1st, which is just coming up around the corner tomorrow. NHRA.
Get a flight out of town
There
right
you go.
away.
NHRA is at Indianapolis. Actually, they go on September 1st and September 2nd, which is Monday. It's the Indianapolis. It's the big go. Of course, Don just talked about that a minute ago. You got IMSA is over at Indianapolis actually at the end of the month, and then you've got Gateway for Indy. Formula One is actually at the Pirelli Italian Grand Prix.
You ever been there?
No, I haven't, but the trophy is a giant meatball. Yep, that's what it is.
Huh.
Yeah.
Is it colored like a meatball?
It could be
is it more like a basketball?
I think it's a giant meatball, big as your head, like Lupe. Anyways, Le Mans is going to Lone Star Le Mans Circus of America is coming up at the end of November.
CEO of computer chip maker NVIDIA received the highest compensation among top executives at U.S.-based automotive and industry-adjacent companies in 2023, according to this year's Automotive News Equilar CEO Compensation Survey. NVIDIA CEO Jensen Huang, got a little Wang in it.
Yep.
Pay and benefits worth $288 million. Oh, God.
Nice.
Yeah. John Plant at Howmet Aerospace, a supplier of forged aluminum wheels and other engineered metal products. Highest paid CEO in 2023, $117 million in total compensation, 6 times what he got in 2022.
Wow.
That includes a $1.6 million salary, $5.6 million in bonus and incentive plan compensation, and nearly $110 million in stock award gains. Plant led the separation of Arconic Incorporated into 2 publicly traded companies, Howmet Aerospace and Arconic Corporation. Joseph Ferrero, CEO of rental car agency Avis Budget Group, was the top earner at automotive services companies. His compensation rose 44% to $31.9 million. Yeah, well, he must be the one that's building that car over there in the River Oaks area.
I think so.
We're going to take a quick break now, and we'll be back right after this. Stay with us.
Pro-Am Auto Accessories has been serving Houston's auto enthusiasts since 1984, providing world-class products for sports cars, European sedans, and American muscle. Pro-Am is known as the place to go to find exclusive and hard-to-find parts and accessories. Pro-Am is one of the very first distributors in the USA for brands such as Recaro, Redline, Momo, Corbo, and Simpson. Located in the heart of Houston's premier retail and service corridor, the Galleria area, Pro-Am's walk-in storefront includes an 8,000-square-foot warehouse, showroom, and installation bays. Pro-Am not only sells parts and accessories, but also offers installation and service. Pro-Am is now reaching a worldwide audience through Pro-Am.com, taking its local reputation to the rest of the world. At Pro-Am Auto, you'll be dealing with a small group of professionals who truly want to help you with your automotive needs. If you don't see what you're looking for on the website, call and Pro-Am will lend you a hand. Pro-Am Auto, 6125 Richmond at Green Ridge in Houston's Galleria area. Call them at 713-781-7755. The award-winning In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show brings you great guest interviews each week from manufacturers and suppliers to the aftermarket, racers, enthusiasts, and other friends just like you and me who love to talk about all things automotive. The In-Wheel Time Car Talk Show takes it to the road, too, with remotes at Tailpipes and Tacos, Woody's Waterfront Car Show, and the Hemi Hideout. In-Wheel Time's live video and audio stream can be found on the iHeartRadio Radio app, YouTube, Facebook, and InRealTime.com every Saturday, 10 a.m. to noon Central Time. Or grab a podcast anytime from your favorite podcast provider.
Well, time flies,
I know.
as they say.
Good show. A lot of good guests.
We did.
Hey, thank you,
the
Michael.
Lilienthals.
Yeah.
Now, that's it for this week's In Wheel Time Car Talk Show. Be sure and check out our website, InWheelTime.com. Follow us on Facebook. Give us a like. Tell your car friends about us and share our stuff. We'll keep you connected to all things automotive all week long. We'd love to hear from you. Our email address is info@InWheelTime.com. If you want, you can use fingers or hands. Put them on a video, send it to us, and we'll share it with our friends over the air. Oh, and send some video of your hot rod, too.
Absolutely.
When you're looking for award-winning car talk, you can find the In Real Time Car Talk Show 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app. Grab a podcast anytime from your favorite podcast provider. And don't forget, we live stream this show on Facebook, YouTube, and InWheelTime.com every Saturday from 10 to noon Central Time. The In Wheel Time video technical director is We Need More, Jeff Zekin. For booking agent, video editor, and people finder, Mike Out of This World Mars, and chief engineer, David Ainsley. I'm Don Armstrong. We hope you join us next week here on the In Wheel Time Car Talk Show, Saturday, September 7th, 10 to noon Central, on all of our In Wheel Time Car Talk outlets. Stay cool. Have a great weekend.